My video for April the 25th, 2020 is video number 3436. The title is An Insane Plot Against Human Freedom. Like many, I am being forced to face insanity on display virtually everywhere. The only signs of what we might call normality are seen in the natural world. We certainly do not see it in the human version of the new reality being sold to us as a solution. As I said to a friend who sent me home remedy tips at zero cost, quote, the best remedy as I see it is to stay away from drugs, prescription and over the counter, end quote. I might add, stay away from fear porn, but that is easier said than done. Our freedom to live normal lives is under attack, bolstered by the brainwashed masses that buy into the propaganda being pushed in all forms of media. For example, almost any video posted on the internet now comes with an official story warning. Of course, it's disinformation, but many are clueless. Most humans are like dumb sheep that blindly follow the others that are falling over the cliff of deception. Interesting times? Yes, it's in our faces. Lies abound. Are we headed toward human liberation, or a level of slavery that none of us could even imagine before this craziness was blatantly unleashed on us? Will human freedom ever be restored, if it ever really existed at all? You know, I posted an article on Facebook before I went to bed last night, and this morning I got a chance to read some of the comments, and one of my friends who is in the media and has been a lifelong part of the media asked, so then what's the solution? Because what it was saying was this whole COVID-19 thing is a scam, that masks don't work, that I actually increase the amount of toxins that we're putting into our bodies because they're not being expelled into the atmosphere, and we're multiplying them in the mask. And anyway, it was an interesting article. If you want to see it, go to my Facebook page. It's on my Facebook page. Many won't take that advice, but that's okay. Those that do will see what I'm talking about. I'm not going to, even though I printed it out here and I have it laying right beside me, I'm not going to go into the details of that. But there is a lot of insanity everywhere I go. As I've said, I mean, I think back to that lady that walked in the hall and with a look of terror in her eyes because I didn't have a mask on as she was going to the laundry room in the apartment building here where we both live. But I'm chuckling. But as I keep on saying, it's not funny, folks. We have been brainwashed by the media everywhere. But it's not just even the media. The schools are now shut down, but the education systems have been brainwashing us so that people that are in media, that are in education, that are in politics, are probably among the most heavily brainwashed and most enslaved people on the planet, but they don't have a concept that they are enslaved at all. They're completely unaware of their own being and do not realize how much it is controlled, not from within, but from without, from the outside coming in. Now, I'm not one of those people that say only listen to what's in. We live in the world of within and without. That's the experience of being human. It's not, again, an either or proposition. It's a both and proposition. We are both spiritual beings and we are material beings. And the material world has a greater influence on most of us than the spiritual world does, because we have tuned the spiritual world out with the noise and the propaganda, the music, the all of the media hype inundates us with a sense that we don't know what the answer is. And the truth of the matter is, we don't, as a human species. Individually, some of us are getting clues. None of us have escaped the trap of living on a 3D world. And I don't mean by escape to commit suicide or to simply die, because then the reincarnation trap comes in, and for most people the memory is wiped out, and you can't build on something that you forgot. Which makes no sense at all, why we would forget if indeed our loving God had an intention of having us grow up. The only way we could grow up was to gain wisdom from experience, right? Doesn't that make sense? It does to me. But I am constantly facing people everywhere I go that buy into the hype. They're totally at loss of what am I supposed to do. And we're not going to get the answers unless we do the both and thing. We have to go within. We have to find that still small voice that's within us and that says, fear not. I know, I question why God has allowed it all to develop to this point. But perhaps instead of being on the eve of destruction, we're actually on the eve of awakening. We're actually at the threshold of being able to co-create and experience a real new world, a new world order based on telling the truth. What a concept. Based on allowing people to be free and not trying to protect people from self-discovery. In other words, making mistakes. You watch over babies a little bit. You have to, because they don't know. They'll put everything that they can touch into their mouth. Just a natural thing for a baby to do. But of course, not everything is safe. And they have to learn. Babies have to learn. Humanity has to learn that we have been suckered, made suckers of, by a group of individuals that have a demented agenda, and that is to keep us in the dark and to not allow us to become free, to become enlightened. It's crazy, but we have to wake up. And I hope this insane plot against human freedom will have an outcome that actually does set us free, even though it looks like everything is moving in the exact opposite direction at this time. I hope you take time to listen. I hope, even more importantly, that you take time to actually think, to actually meditate, and ask yourself the really hard question: who am I? And its counterpart, why am I here? I think we're here to learn something, and I hope we finally get it. Thank you for listening, and namaste.